Alrighty. I'm going to ask you to forgive if my voice drops out randomly. I've been working at a summer camp the past 5 weeks, corralling 3rd and 5th graders, and I have to be left a lot. So my voice is kind of sort of not really where it's supposed to be. But we're going to go anyway. So, this one already introduced himself. That's Zedgy, or Zed. I'm Nicola, or Dutchie, or Jess. I answered all of them.
Studios, you got like 7 different names. Phoenix too, you're like...
Yeah, I know. So many. So, before we get rolling with like, full-on like costume performance stuff, I do want to go over a couple of really important things that you need to get out of the way before you go out in costume, because if you do these things, you're not going to have a good time. And, you know, costuming shouldn't only be fun for yourself and the people around you. Well, okay, wait, pause. Costuming shouldn't only be cool for the people around you, it should also be really fun for yourself. And if you're not having a good time, the people around you aren't going to have a good time. You're going to be like walking around all drunk, you're like, get out of my way, So we're not going to do that. This is really loud. Wow, hold up. Alright, now I can speak and I'll be over something like that. Alrighty, so I like to talk about this all the time because it's really important, and I did a budgeting panel yesterday, and I also talked about this. You may or may not be familiar with the 6-2-1 rule, and the 6-2-1 rule is basically this. You need to get, at a minimum, all of these things: 6 hours of sleep, you need 2 good meals, so that doesn't mean like a Hot Pocket and like half a slice of pizza from yesterday, like get some like real food in your belly. And then you should take at least, notice the at least, and more is encouraged, shower a day, especially if you're in costume. So if you know you're out running around all day and you're like gross and sweaty, like take a shower before you go to bed, and then when you wake up, maybe also take a shower just to refresh that nice cleanliness of yourself. Because nobody wants to hug someone who smells like they haven't showered in 4 days. So yeah, take showers, it's super important. My hair's still wet from mine this morning.
Axe is not a shower in a can.
Yes, thank you. Okay, yeah, that's super important. I know Axe is like Axe, Old Spice. Wonderful.
It's not a shower.
It's not a shower. Please take a shower. Most hotels have showers and they have like free soap, so even if you forgot to pack your soap, you have soap. Use the soap. If you run out of soap, go to the front desk and get more soap. Just use all of the soap you can find. Aside from that, back to the meals thing. You want to make sure you're eating well at cons. Like, yes, I love mac and cheese too. It's so good. But you can't only eat mac and cheese for 5 days and expect to be like up here. You're going to be like down here crawling on your knees to the center like, hi, give me a hug. No, you're not going to feel great. So yeah, eat well and eat enough. So if you know you're running a minute late, like, it's better if you do 5 minutes late to a panel in the morning than not to eat until like, 10 p.m. that night. Because again, you're not going to be having a good time. If you don't have energy, if you aren't, ready to go, you don't have some like fuel in your belly to let you have that energy, you're not going to be able to perform where you want to be. And water. This is my Nalgene. It glows in the dark, and I love it because it holds water and only water, and this is what I bring it everywhere with me. I very strongly advise getting a Camelback or a large water bottle, something to carry around with you that has water in it, because all the water stations are everywhere. It's so good to have your own water. Like, if you're, again, hydration, super important. At camp, we like to say hydration is happiness, and that dehydration is devastation or death, depending on how extreme your views are on that. But again, just drink your water, drink your water, drink your water. I'm going to say like 3 more times, drink your water, drink your water, drink your water.
Going in the pool does not count as drinking water.
You actually get dehydrated from swimming. Like, who would think that? But you can.
I found that out the hard way at summer camp.
Yeah, not like, just drink a lot of water. Take it, like, if you see a water cooler, stop, take a sip. You don't need to like drink half a water bottle every time you're thirsty. Like, the best way to stay hydrated during the day is to like, get like a little cup of like those little cups back there, like one of those every, half hour, 20 minutes, depending on what you're doing. Obviously, if you are in a full suit, you are going to want to drink a lot more water because you will get very toasty and it's an oven. I'm just partialing today, and I partialed yesterday too, and I was just like dripping. It was gross. So yeah, drink your water, drink your water, drink your water. Alrighty, so that's what I like to call con basics or like costume basics, either or. So now for some safety stuff, because if you're not, like if you get hurt, again, not a good time, you can't do what you need to do. So one super important thing, especially if you're a fursuiting, and especially if you are maybe not super used to the costume you're in or the space you're in or if a lot of people around, it's really good to have a handler. Like, ooh, you get like yourself a regular old person, look at that, like standard issue model, human being, whoa. And you want to like have them so that you don't trip on things and like step on children. I was here last year, I got dropped off, my mom said good luck and drove away. I had never been to a con before, I had never suited ever before. I mean like I'd suited for like 10 minutes like at a school event once, like I had no idea what was happening. And I was like walking around like bumping into stuff. I was like, where's the door? And then I was like going up an escalator and I just heard ah, and like feet on the floor and I looked down and there's a kid like this big like on my legs. I'm like, oh hello. Almost fell down the escalator. So that's why handlers are super helpful. They can say, hey look, there's a small child running at you at high speeds, move. And you can like not get tackled down an escalator. We don't want to break the escalators. We don't get happy when we do that.
6 foot long tails like
oh yes. So as you may have noticed, I have a very long tail with this. It's as tall as me. It drags on the floor a lot. Handlers are also really good if you have like a large tail situation, so you don't get it caught in doors, caught in escalators, caught under people's feet, under your own feet, indoors. Indoors, it's happened like 4 times. Don't get your tail caught indoors.
basically so you don't die.
Yeah, just like you will fall more than likely if your tail gets stuck in things because you're like sudden pressure backwards, boom, you're on your face. And also there's a very high likelihood that your tail will get damaged, and like, I don't know about you guys, but like, this took forever to make and I don't want it to get damaged. Or if you like commissioned it, it was probably pretty expensive, so you don't want it to get damaged because, you know, your tail's broken and it's like, oh, tears. Handlers are also awesome for helping manage, like I call it crowd control. So if you are, especially if you are not at a furry con, if you are out at a park, or like a public event in your town, and you want to like go out and suit and be like, howdy, hey, what's happening? Like, I'm here to give hugs. People who aren't familiar with fursuits they obviously don't know like the like etiquette and the way to handle these things. Like my friend Maya, she was here last year with me. She had this cute little nubby tail for her like dog character. And she was at this thing called like the Pumpkin Festival. I live in a farm town, just if that wasn't obvious, like Pumpkin Festival. And so this little kid came up to her and they were like, you know, she was interacting with the kids. And this mom, like a mother of the child, came up and went, oh, this is so cute, yoink, and all of the elastic popped. And her tail was broken and she couldn't fix it until she got home, so she was walking around without a tail for the rest of the day. So like, again, that's not great. So, you know, your handler can like, if somebody's being kind of rough, if somebody's like grabbing or pulling at the costume, or somebody's, you know, walking up and like bopping your head real hard, they can be like,
hey, don't do that.
Yeah, like, you can like, obviously, if you are being a handler, please be like a good judge of the situation. If you, like, most of the time the person won't understand that you can't be rough with it. Oh, I'm sorry. But like, there's a possibility that if they are like, as my mother, an EMT, likes to say, if they have an altered mental status, like, you know, substances, if they don't realize what's going on and somebody's suddenly there like, hey, don't do that, they might get kind of combative, and you don't want to put yourself, the handler, at risk of getting injured because then you're hurt and then you have a fursuiter who's like stumbling around half blind and overheating, and you're like, oh, I need to go to the doctor now because I just got like punched in the face by somebody who was kind of grumpy. So yeah, judge your situations, please be safe, be situationally aware, do all that good stuff. I already talked about water, but I wrote it down again, so I'm going to say again, drink your water. I'm probably going to mention it a couple more times today. Something that's very important that I like to prepare for, even though I have yet to use, thankfully, is having signals to use if you are overheating, if you are like feel like you're going to pass out, if you are not feeling safe in a situation. I'm pretty sure most of you can guess, like if, especially like suitors in here, if you're overheating, what's something like you might do to be like, hey, I need help? Yep, the fanning them out with one hand, two hands. That's very clear, it's very obvious. This can't be mistaken with this or that. It's like very clear, like I need to go. And if you want to make your handler aware of these signals, again, if you're overheated, most people are going to recognize this. And hopefully, I say hopefully, they will kind of move out of your way and allow you into a headless lounge or an area where you can like pop your head up, get some water, take a break.
I mean, for the most part, as like, because I just hang around with her, she's my friend and whatnot, but when she needs something, she'll go like tap me and whatnot, I'm like, oh no, like something's up, because when she's in suit, she knows what she's doing. She's got things under control for the most part.
Most part.
And, you know, give a little attention and be like, hey,
Okay,
what's up?
So one that I figured out, this was the very first time I went shooting anywhere, it's actually an art show at my school, because like my friend, it was actually my friend Maya, we were like, let's shoot at the art show and then talk to the art teacher, and we were like, hey Spano, here's the thing, can we do this? And she was like, yeah, sure. So we were like running around, and that was my actual first ever time like in suit in public, and it went really well, thankfully. But I like to do the whole like hope for the best, prepare for the worst kind of thing. So I literally went around to everybody who was in my class who would be there, who I was like, you know, like friendly with, and I was like, hey guys, like just in case something happens, if I'm running around in costume and like I'm not feeling safe or I need to get out of a situation, like I just want to let you guys know that like I have this hand signal so that you can like kind of step in and help me out. It's like, are you willing to do that? And they were like, yeah, sure, no problem. And my personal favorite, because it's very clear, it's very distinct, and you can make it obvious even if people taller than you around, making an X over your head. Like nobody just does this. Like that's very clear, like help. This, you know, like it's kind of close to your body, like it's hard to see, but this is very, very, very clear. Like if somebody does that, it's like, that's not a normal thing to do when your handler will be like, whoop, okay, and like kind of whisk you away and let you out. Okay, on the note of like overheating and stuff, if you are overheating, if you are tired, if you are just done for the day, please do not be afraid to say no. Like just because someone's running up to you and going, oh, can I get one more picture, Like if you need to go, you need to go. Like obviously you don't have to be like, no, but you can just be like I'm overheating, like I really need to go. Or if you can't say that, if you don't speak in suit, handlers are fantastic to be like, I really need to get them somewhere where they can cool off. And then you go, you know, yeah, like, I don't like disappointing people stinks. Like, you feel kind of bad, but like,
is most important.
Your personal safety and well-being is far more important than that picture that somebody's gonna post on Instagram. Like, in the long run, take care of yourself, don't worry. Alrighty. Ooh, we're getting into the fun part now. Alrighty, so that's basically the safety stuff. I'm gonna go into one more thing, and then finally pop this back on, and I'm gonna grab some volunteers from the audience. And whoa, this is where everyone goes, whoa, audience participation. Woo. So, last thing. So we're moving on to our actual performance points. This is the part you're probably here for. You don't want to hear me like being like, drink your water for like an hour. So for performance stuff, I'm gonna bet a lot of suitors, I know a lot of suitors are silent suitors, meaning they don't talk in a suit, which can be difficult if you are having a situation that needs to be addressed. So that's why like having a handler who like, and you have like hand signals is really important. If you're a silent suitor, if you're a talking suitor, you can just be like, I gotta go, and like, bop. But obviously for silent suitors, speaking is not a necessity for performance. You don't need to like talk. You can be expressive through your body language, through your movements, and that's awesome. Same goes like if you're a speaking suitor. You don't want to just stand there and just like talk. Like if you're just like, I'm so excited, today is great. Whoa, like you look like you're bored. You're like, I'm so excited, today is a great day. Like you gotta like.
What character is your character?
Indeed. All right. So it's finally time to bob this on. Can I actually grab like if there's two people who are willing to put on their suits and come up here? Any volunteers? Fabulous. Fabulous. I can take a couple more. Do you want to come up? Fabulous. All right. Now, if you have a suit and you want to come up, just come up. The more the merrier. Why not? It also gives me time to stall to put this back on. Whoa. Some drips of water. Oh yeah, if I didn't say it already, drink your water. Let's put this tail on. Fabulous, fabulous. Look at all these. Right. So while everybody is getting up here, which I think they already are, can everyone still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, fabulous. So I am talking about 1.5 times louder than I was like 30 seconds ago because like foam and balaclavas kind of muffle your voice. So that kind of helps. That's like another point with this. If you are a speaking suitor, please enunciate and speak loudly. Like you don't need to yell. You don't be like, "Hi, how are you today?" You can hear the voice crack, but like you want to project.
Nobody wants to repeat the same thing 4 times over.
Yeah, no, like. Ooh, I almost dropped my hand there. So you definitely want to make sure that you are enunciating, you are speaking clearly. So if I could get my lovely volunteers, we're going to do like a catwalk kind of situation, so get ready to like strut. If you want to come and just line up here, facing that way, we're going to do a little loop. Alrighty. So just for your viewing pleasure, I have a little list of different emotions, expressions, things like that that are really good. I'm just holding a picture for me. This is why you have people with you. So if everyone, I'm going to also join this line. So if you're walking around and you're super excited about something, like can we do a little loop in a line? Like how are you going to walk around if you're excited? You have a thing you do. Very bouncy. You have a thing you do too. Wiggly and bouncy, fantastic. You have an excited walk. You just kind of gotta, bop around. I just saw all an awesome jobs, high fives, nice job. Thank you for being my guinea pigs or angel dragons and bats and dogs and such. Can't just say guinea pigs, there's probably guinea pigs here. So as you saw, these guys did an awesome job. Like, you definitely want to put a lot of movement into what you're doing. If you're just walking around like this, you look bored, kind of tired. And if you're tired, like yes, you can just kind of be like, I need water, I'm going. But if you want to, be bouncing around, get people engaged, you kind of want to go. I know personally, I walk on my toes in these shoes. It makes me very bouncy. So kind of just bounce around. I like to call it the velociraptor head. You're kind of swinging back and forth. And it's just very dynamic. It puts a lot of movement into what you're doing, and it's a good time. I also need my fan. This is a very hot head. Well, that's way better. Alright, so I know all of you have very nice, cheerful expressions on, but so let's say you are interacting with somebody and you want to look like you're real mad, like you're grumpy. I personally like the hands on the hips and kind of scooch over, big steps, just grumpy walk. There's a lot of grumpy suitors here who do an awesome job looking super grumpy. Really like the arms and kind of oh, I'm mad at everything. So if you guys would like to continue to be adorable and do an angry walk down my way. Big stompy feet, arms are out, fabulous. Stomping the feet is fabulous because you're mad. Fabulous. Oh, I love it. It's the cutest parade of angry things I've ever seen. So obviously if you're performing and, especially if you're with little kids, I'm talking small beings, it's really important that they understand that if they're interacting with you in the wrong way, but you don't want to yell at them because that puts, it's a negative vibe. They don't feel good about it and they get upset. And my fan is on the floor. So especially if you're interacting with younger kids, something you definitely want to do is figure out a way to communicate that you do not like what they're doing. If they're pulling on your tail, pulling on your face, hitting your face, pulling off your paws, something like that. And obviously, a really great way to do that is to be sad and just like, oh, I'm so sad, like, oh no. So you know, if they pull on your tail, you can kind of like pull away and make like a little like, oh no, sad face. And it's pretty effective because the younger kids especially will like feel bad when they see that you look sad. And if you know you want to like walk around the con looking sad, they kind of get the, oh, you poor baby, like that's totally valid too because it's fun. I've done it. But so since this one is very useful in helping like control your interactions, just like a sad pose for our lovely people here. You know, a lot of times it's just the head down, you kind of like cover the eyes, and it's just like little like, I'm upset, I don't like what's going on right now. And I can just scroll over one more, wait, when you just scroll over, there goes the fan.
Your handler's just sitting there.
You're doing my job, I'm sorry.
Great help.
You just scroll now.
So then,
Be the fan again.
you just turned, where'd you go?
Behind the screen.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So you guys, thank you very much for your assistance. I keep clapping on the cast. Fabulous job. You guys are a top spot. Go back to your seats. Thank you for coming up here. Alrighty. So I know for this suit, her eyes are kind of wonky. So like expressions are kind of funky. So if you want to get a good sense as to what you're going to look like when you are performing, when you're interacting, you can stand in front of the mirror and practice. I know, like, for one side, I think it's, oh geez, I think it's this side, looks kind of angry all the time, and the other side is just kind of like vacant. She's a little asymmetrical, it's fine. But you know, like straight, like, there's a whole bunch of stuff. Like with every angle, it looks like she has a different emotion on her face. So it can be kind of hard to control the message you're putting across if you just rely on your suit head. Or any like expression for that matter. You know, if you have a grinning face, you have the eyes wide open, you look happy, but say you have eyelids like going down like this, you look really bad. So like, suit expression is not the end of the emotions you're able to portray. There's tons of grumpy suitors who are able to be bouncy, energetic, like super happy, like I'm going, it's a good time, but at the same time, you have a lot of like super like the giant open mouth smile with the raised eyebrows and like, wow! And they do a really good job of looking grumpy or looking upset. If you are looking to commission suit, I really like magnetic eyelids because you can change the emotion a little easier. You don't have to worry about like doing it like perfectly like posture-wise. I'm gonna pop this back off for a hot minute. And with my notes. Alrighty. I talked about practicing your stuff in the mirror. Alrighty. So, oh, it's toasty. So yeah. So oh yes. Also, just a note for handlers. Drink your water. Just a note for handlers. As most of you are probably aware, if you are not, I'm about to explain this. Suit vision is iffy at best, like some are better than others. I know with her, I have a giant blind spot directly in front of me, like if I were here right now, I probably couldn't see like these two tables. I'd just be like, there's nothing there, it's blank empty space. So that's one of the reasons I kind of do a velociraptor head walk, because it lets me see what's in my blind spot without looking out of one eyeball. Like if you don't have great suit vision, don't just look at one eye. When you take that head off, you're gonna feel like you are like in a different world. It's awful. You're just like, whoa, there's light out here. So aside from blind spots, which actually, blind spots in any suit, almost any suit, unless you have a tiny, tiny muzzle, you generally can't see below like here, especially right in front of you. So if there's like a shorter person or like a child that's like that big, you won't see them. So it's very, very important to have a handler around you, especially if you know there's gonna be a lot of little kids around, because you do not want to like walk into a 3-year-old just like, oh, there they go. Like, please don't kick children. Don't do it. I'm telling you not to. But yeah, you don't want to do it accidentally. You obviously don't want to do it on purpose. That'd be awful. Just like have your handler watch out for children on the ground, especially like running around here. They get very excited. They want to hug all the big fluffy dogs and cats and like dragons and deer, and they just want to go give them a big hug because like who wouldn't? We're fluffy. So yeah, that's why you really need a handler to like watch your area. Aside from, you know, blind spots here and here, so this suit, I have decent like out to the side vision. I go out to like here, and you know, your normal peripherals are like over, like almost directly to your sides, maybe even a little further back depending on like eyeball placement and such. But if your regular peripherals are over here, and in suit it's like that, and my other suit it's actually a little narrower, but I have better, like I don't have a blind spot so much in the front, so it's like trade-offs kind of thing. But again, those are things that are really difficult. Like if you have big ears, I have like knocked into a lot of people with these ears, with my other suit's ears because they don't like this. So if you know you turn around too fast, and like I'm not the tallest person ever, so there's a lot of people whose faces are at like my ear height when I'm in suit, and I've like whacked into a couple of people. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, you know, hitting your handler in the face with your ears I think is a little preferable over hitting somebody who has no idea who you are in the face with your ears, because they're like, I understand you can't see, but other people might not get that. So yeah, peripherals, under, snazzy. So, I'm going to go back to long tails for just a minute, and like feet paws. These things are not easy to walk around in. Like, you know, normally you want to just walk like this, but like you're kind of like kicking yourself in the foot. So you kind of have to like turn your feet out and walk kind of awkwardly, just kind of like waddling around the entire time, which, you know, looks really cute when you're in suit, but it's like, also, it's like not your normal range of movement. So especially if you're not used to feet paws, like walk around your like house and stuff in them, make sure you can navigate. These are super hard to go up and down stairs in because they're kind of big. Like my foot ends here. There's just another like 2 inches of fuzz. And while that doesn't seem like a lot, it's really easy to like misstep, hit stair wrong, just like you down. I fell down my stairs at home practicing walking through these. So yeah, don't do that. That's why the escalators are great. You know, escalators are also kind of hard to do in feet paws, because, you know, the stairs are like that big and your foot's that big. So you can't, it's hard, you can't really do like a step on like you would normally do. I personally have to like blindly grab for my tail and then stand there and wait and jump on a step and ride it up to the top. And once at the top again, jump off the step. Yes?
I was going to ask, have you ever heard of anybody getting their tail off an escalator? Because I always thought that seemed like a liability.
I've heard stories from certain people about like if they have like a loose leg or like loose fur on their feet or a big tail getting caught in escalators. And that's probably why the escalators here break a lot. Just so you know. Not only is it kind of break the escalator, it could like break you too, because you get like, so please be careful on escalators. If you have access to an elevator, they're so much safer. And if they're glass ones, you can like be like, I'm in a box, help, which is so cute. Everyone's like, oh, you're stuck in a box, ha ha ha, and you're like, you don't understand, I'm trapped. Alrighty, so that's like some basic emotion stuff. So I want to get a little into like some like character development stuff. Obviously, if you are suiting, you have a character, and if you didn't make up your character and it's like a pre-made, you now own a suit, which is a character. So you have this ball of fuzz, or actually in any case, this even applies to cosplay stuff. So you have this character, and they're a ball of fuzz, or they're like a pixie, or whatever you're doing. And looking for my chapstick. Where's my chapstick? Alrighty. So yeah. Also a note: make sure you have everything you need before you leave, because yeah, elevator lines are awful. Alrighty, so yes, character development. So if you have a character, more than likely, the odds are that you have some kind of backstory or they have a personality. You know, a lot of people really like the big smiley suits and they're like, oh, so happy and fantastic. But like I have a couple of grumpy characters. I have this husky who I do not have a suit of, and she's like a grumpy little nub, and she's really sassy. So if I ever get her made, or if I make her, more than likely will be the kids. If she's ever a suit, obviously the way I behave in her is going to be very, very, very different from the way I behave in Nukwa or my other suit, Dutchie. Both of them are relatively friendly, outgoing, bouncy characters. Now, she has a whole backstory that I'm not going to get into because it would literally take me like 15 minutes. Yeah, and so it's really long. But I really like to try to put bits of personality in. So like, Dutch is a bit more, he's a bit more energetic and explorative. He likes to like run around, like run up to people and be like, hello, how are you today? And with Nukwa, she's like pretty, I'm gonna call her a little ditzy. She kind of just kind of wanders around like, ooh, what's going on? Like, wee. And it's, you know, it's kind of fun to kind of wander around. And she's kind of like, my personal favorite for walking around with her is either that like up on the toes bouncy, or just kind of like the hands out and just kind of like rolling the head back and forth. So like, people maybe think that person's on something. But no, like, just being like kind of spacey, haha, there's space on her tail. Bad jokes. Geez. Oh yes, I keep like, oh, I've been awake for like half an hour. Wee, good morning. So, yeah, so if you have your character, you definitely want, as I'm pretty sure Zed said earlier, you need to put character into your character, like walking around just kind of like, I'm walking around a convention, I'm having so much fun, wee, look at me go, wow.
So
this is the most fun I've ever had before. You know, like, don't be afraid to do like giant, ridiculous movements. It makes it more fun for you because the more you get into it, the more you're like, oh, this is great. And the more you are into it, the more other people around you are going to be like, super excited. Like, again, my friend Maya and I, when we were shooting at that art show at our school, she had this big inflatable crayon that was like this big. So we went outside because it was really hot inside because, you know, schools don't have air conditioning. It was like 95 degrees out. It was warm. So we went outside because it was like cooler than the inside, and we had this crayon, and there was like a group of kids, and they all looked kind of, so we're also going to go over like reading the people who were around in the hot minute. Yes. So, oh yeah, so you know, we were standing out there, and we were like kind of waving at the kids, and they were kind of doing this like little nervous, like, hi, giant cat and cow, dragon, horse thing. Nobody knows what she is, it's fine. I know in my heart. So, you know, they were kind of nervous, they were scared. So, like, I turned to Maya, and I pushed her, and I gave her a little shove, and she kind of like took a step back, and she turned to look at me, and I pushed her again, and she got it. And we started, like, a play fight, and she wound up on the ground. I was just, like, hitting her with the crayon, and the kids were, like dying laughing. I was like, yes, success. Like, I really like suiting because I really like to entertain people. I really like to help people have a good time. It's really good. Like, I really like making people happy. It's like, it's one of the reasons I do a lot of things I do, but it's a really big reason why I suit. Like, you know, I was like interacting with people yesterday. I was like, you're happy and I'm happy about it. You know, you definitely want to like, if people are, you know, a little uncomfortable, a little nervous, you don't want to like be like in their face like, hi there, hello, how are you? Hey there, hey, like hey, and like poking them in the face and being like, hi there, I'm a dragon. And they're just doing that and like kind of like moving away from you the entire time. So you really, it can be kind of rough in suit to read people because you can't see, but you definitely want to get a sense of who's comfortable and who isn't comfortable. If somebody is obviously a little more comfortable around suitors, if you think they have, you know, if they like are looking to interact with you, you know, like trying to make the eye contact, waving, you can go over, you can say hi to them, and depending on how they go through that, you know, if they're continuing to stay engaged, if they're excited, if they're happy about it, you can like kind of mess with them a little bit, like kind of like, you know, like poke them in the shoulder or something. Oh yes. So on the note of poking people in the shoulder, when you're interacting with people, be very, very careful about how you are touching them. Some people do not like to be touched, and that's, again, you have to read how comfortable they are. If you're getting close to them and they're kind of scooting away, but they're still interacting with you, that might mean, hey, like, I want to interact with you, but I don't want to be touched. Or if, you know, they're kind of like right in your face too, or they're like, you know, if they're like right next to you, or they're like reaching out to like pat you and stuff, like, that's probably a sign that they're a little more comfortable and you're okay with, you know, like mess around with them a little bit, like pat their head, like give, like pat their arm or something. General guidelines that I find are people are usually okay with being touched from like here to here, and sometimes, depending on the person, like the top of their head, I wouldn't, like, just nothing else. Like arms are okay, if they want to give you a hug, fabulous. But like, just like you wouldn't want somebody touching you anywhere that you don't want to be touched, you don't want to like touch someone where they don't want to be touched. Like some people, that could be their shoulders. I have a friend who, if she gets touched on like right on the back of her neck or her shoulders, she freaks out. Like it's really scary for her, and she doesn't like it. So like I have to keep that in mind when I'm around her, just in general, because, you know, I like to walk up to people and tap them on the back, be like, hello. But, you know, if somebody has an issue with that, you obviously don't want to upset them, because upsetting them is a bad time, and you really want to make sure that you're giving people a positive experience with suiting.
Also regarding touching, on the suit, it may look like it's just like the top of them or like somewhere in the middle, but if it's a female in there and you're like touching in the middle, it might be touching the dress. You don't really want to do that.
Yeah, no. Another thing, drop crotch suits, you know, like the bottom of the suit's like down here. If you are not in suiting or interacting with a suitor, like it's just a good guideline to not pet people's tummies, because if they have a drop crotch suit on and you're petting their tummy, it's not their tummy, and that's awkward for everyone. So just be mindful. If you know the person in suit and you know that they are okay with you, like giving them a pat on the belly, giving them a pat on the back, like petting their head, totally fine. Like, again, I know this one. If you just walked up and like bopped me on the head, I'd be like, okay. But I don't really like other people coming up and like bopping me on the head. You know, like, obviously this is just foam, like, she's squishy. But, you know, people have resin heads, and if you bonk someone on the nose of that resin head, it can actually hit their face, it can hit their nose, and it can hurt a lot. I know some people who have like gotten like bruises and stuff from somebody like tapping them too hard. Yes, boops are fantastic. But, you know, a boop doesn't need to be like, ah, like I'm gonna like one punch man you, but like with a finger. You can just kind of like, we're gonna pretend this that my guy needs to back there because it's suiting staring. Just a light little on the nose, and it's still cute. The suitor will probably be like, ah, I got my nose booped, and it's so cute, it's so good. I went off on a tangent. Where was I just? Oh boy. Hello, good morning. All right, yeah, so I didn't finish the whole like character development thing. I just went off on like the whole like safety and like, it's still important stuff. So with character development, if you don't have an expression on your suit, again, put it in your posture, put it in your walk. It's very, very important. It helps like portray yourself as like who you are. Another really great way is, if you don't have a full suit, to like bring your character out more, is to wear clothes that like, okay, you know, you should wear clothes like regardless, but like wear clothes that help bring out your character a bit. I mean, this is, so I'm wearing her like right now, and then I'm like switching off because I have the parade later, and she's too hot for the parade, so I gotta change. But so this outfit is like relatively more suited for my other character. But like yesterday, I was running around. I had like these like striped socks on, like heels, and like a dress, and this like glittery scarf thing, and that fits my other character a lot more. Now, most of my characters are what I would like to call more like feral, so when I get, if I have art drawn of them, or if I draw them myself, you know, they're on all fours. They don't really like wear clothes because they're like animals. I do have some characters that are a little more like anthro, where they like, you know, wear pants and shirts and stuff. But if you can get clothes that you think fit your character, it's awesome. I know like some people really like to like the Hawaiian shirts. Some people do like, I see like the skeleton shirt, Skelly Squad. Boom. Like if you just have stuff that fits your character, it's really fun. My personal favorite thing that I have in both my characters is just this giant silver bell. It's very loud, it's very annoying, and if I move at all, it jingles. Like I'm like. So I like to run around bad at it and just be very jingly and like obnoxious. Like I want you to know I'm coming from like down the hallway, like get ready. So yeah, I actually got this belt here last year. Like it came on a ribbon. I took off the ribbon because all I wanted was the belt. For like character stuff too, costume bits. You can, I know like they make like custom collars and stuff that you can wear over your suit. I really like them because it helps keep your neck in control, so you're not just like fluff in the wind kind of thing. It helps just keep your neck under control. And it looks really cute if you have like a giant silver belt on like a collar and you're running around like you know, like I'm jingly. So yeah, you can get this at Walmart for $4. It has paw prints on it and it's pink, so it matches her, and I'm like, fantastic. Oh yeah, so accessories and clothing items for character stuff. So I have a like shark hat that's literally like the ear of my one suit right now, and I kind of put that on there because I didn't finish putting the fur on the ear before the corona started, so I cheated. But it looks really cute and
Makes them look all derpy.
yeah, it's like kind of like ooh, I'm just gonna run around and do what I'm doing. And it fits that character. You can get, baseball caps. People make beanies, or if you're a little more explored in the craft world, you can try to make your own beanie. You can try to make your own hats, and it's really cool. It adds like another layer. I know a lot of people don't like to carry backpacks when they're suiting because they're like, oh, it kind of ruins it. Like I just have this like big chunky backpack on. So like I got this dinosaur because it's a dinosaur. It's a dinosaur backpack, and it's just cute, and so it doesn't really look out of place when I'm running around in suit because it's like a giant fluffy animal with a dinosaur backpack. Like I see nothing wrong here. Well, at the same time, I have a black backpack that I actually used yesterday for a bit to keep like my laptop for like my notes and stuff in. I had that on, so that was like awkward to deal with. My phone's over here. Well, I'm just checking my notes. Does anybody have any comments or questions?
Purses are underrated accessories or carrying your personal effects.
Like small bags are fantastic. It's not too straps. Taking this on and off while in suit is a pain in the butt. Like over your ears and stuff. It's not a great time. So yeah, very good point. Purses. It's one strap, you can just kind of pop it on, it's awesome. I also advise if you are wearing like, if you have like a Persia suit, or if you're wearing something over it, I definitely advise having something with pockets. This has zipping pockets in them. They're fabulous. You can put like a lot of things in these pockets. Yeah, it's in my pocket now. I didn't put it on the table.
You put it in your pocket.
I lose chapstick. Wait, no, I lose chapstick a lot. So yeah, no. I have too many pockets also. Where did it go? How did I
put it in your pants pocket?
It was my bag. I'm gonna put it in my pocket so I know where it is now. Yeah, too many pockets can also be a bad thing because you don't know where your stuff is. Also, having like a pocket in your costume, so if you get a bandana that has a pocket, it's not a pocket in it, but they make ones that have like Velcro or zipper pockets in them, or even just like little hidden compartments. And if you have something you can like put your phone, or like if you're me and you need an inhaler so you can breathe most of the time, having that accessible is very important.
Hold on 1 second. You in the back of the question?
One thing I try to do is wear the same exact outfit every time, which is a Space Jam shirt and like gray sweatpants.
Consistency, quality content. My one friend has a dog character who, like, when she suits as this character, it's like a white shirt and like a jean jacket and stuff. And it's like a very set outfit, and she's like three sets of that outfit, so that she like doesn't have to wear the same clothes 3 days in a row. She's at con. I personally really like to like mix in makeup and outfits. Like tomorrow, tomorrow I have like a flapper, like flapper dress with like all the fringe and stuff, and like stockings and like little ruffly socks, which I'm very excited about because like it's a dress made out of tassels. Yes. Yes. Ooh, skull dog, right?
I have no idea what I am, to be honest.
I like it anyway.
pretty much everybody has no idea what that. Anyways, it's a little bit off the point, but I was wondering if you know anything about how fursuit sandals work. Like, does that help you to go outdoors? How, like, do you have to worry about the sides of your feet still being damaged?
So these are outdoor feet. They have like play carpet, like not carpet squares, like foam squares on the bottom. As you can see, I'm gonna like flip my foot up awkwardly. There's like a shape worn out in the middle. That's where the shoe inside of my paws is. These are built on a pair of tennis shoes from Walmart. Little $5 Walmart shoes for feet. They're awesome. So you know you wear them like 7/10s and yeah, so they don't like fall apart. But the bottoms of these are wearing out, so it's very slippery. But fursuit sandals, as far as I have seen, I do not own them because these have like the bottoms on them. They are basically the bottoms of my feet. It's most of the time it's the same material, and they just kind of get like strapped on with like some clips and buckles and stuff. If it is raining, just don't go outside in your fursuit feet. Just don't. Like, even if you have sandals on, even if you think, oh, the puddle's not that deep, it's way deeper than you think it is, and your foot will be soaked forever. Foam feet take so long to dry. Just don't, you shouldn't be suiting in the rain. You're gonna get wet, your shoes are gonna get wet, and then it's wet forever, and it might mold into that sucks. But yeah, with the fursuit sandals, as far as I'm aware, damage to the sides, as long as you are watching where you're going and you're not stepping in like if you're walking through like a field or like loose dirt, you have a very good chance of getting a lot of stuff on the sides of your feet, like your toes and stuff. But if you're just like on a sidewalk, it should be all right. Just be very mindful of where you are, because outside there's a lot of like rough surfaces, bricks and walls and stuff, and you can like scrape up the sides of your feet real badly.
Okay, last question. Do you have any idea how to get water out of the feet? Because I know that they stay damp for a really long time, and I'm worried about mold growing in such big cushions of foam. Do you keep an eye on it until it's done?
Like, the best thing to do for wet fursuit parts is fans. Take every fan you own and point it at that object. If the inside of your foot gets really wet, like if you're like really sweaty, something you can do is take newspaper, crumple it up, and like pack your shoe with newspaper, let it sit for like an hour, and take it out, because at that point it will be wet. Like, it just soaks up the moisture, and you do that a couple of times. Doing that does risk staining the inside of the foot though. If the newspaper ink is funky, it might run, so just keep that in mind. If you like have like a lining or something, like mine, the inside is literally just like the shoe, so if it gets like, I'm not super worried about it for that piece. Did I see another hand?
I think we're all good. I think we're all pretty good here.
Fabulous. Okay, stand. Ooh, you have 4 minutes, I guess. So, just a couple last, like, well, just like general costuming tips. If you are, have the capability of having a backpack, or if you just are willing to carry something on your back, either if you're full suit, under your full suit, or over your suit, camelbacks are great. I have one. It doesn't have the backpack straps on it, so if I use, well, I'm probably going to use it tomorrow for the first period, I would have to put it in another backpack to carry it, but like having, you know, like a ton of water on me the whole day is way better than not. And the camelbacks have like that like tubey thing, and you can just like stick it up in your fursuit mouth and just like sip some water and not worry about like shoving a bottle in your mouth or something. Like, if you have a suit that you can fit like an entire water bottle in your mouth, fantastic. I can do that with like smaller water bottles for her, obviously not this monster. But, you know, camelbacks are fantastic. If you are familiar with the easy cool down vests, which were actually mentioned in Kanye's story hour last night, funnily enough, they are basically a vest made out of ice packs, but they get like colder than regular ice packs, and they take longer to melt. So if you have one of those, it's just like a giant like ice pack around your like torso, which helps you keep cool. Very important. So I'm actually pretty sure I pictured it. So when you are suiting or any kind of costuming, or even if you're just out and about, like living your day-to-day life, heat exhaustion and heat stroke are both very like serious, and you want to avoid them. Heat stroke, as you can probably guess by the name, is the worst of the two. So I just have a little chart here that I wanted to like just read off some stuff. So there are differences between heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Heat exhaustion is like pretty common, like a lot of people will get heat exhaustion during summers and stuff, especially if you're being active and running around. Like symptoms are if you're faint and dizzy, you might be sweating like a lot. If your skin feels cool and like damp, you might get nauseous. You're like, I don't know if you're gonna like take your own pulse, but like if your like heart's beating like really fast, it's kind of weak, it's not great, and you can get muscle cramps. So that's heat exhaustion. You can fix that on your own without necessarily needing medical attention. If you want to go to a doctor, do it. Like they can give you like they can hydrate you faster and cool you down faster than you probably can on your own. But you can fix it yourself. You want to get to a cool place, preferably with air conditioning. If you don't have air conditioning, sit your butt down in front of a fan. You want to drink water. Obviously, if the person you're with is like not doing great and you don't think they're going to be able to like process, like drink water, you need to swallow and not inhale it. Don't like shove water in their mouth because they could like choke. So don't do that. And if you have it accessible, get like ice packs, like cool compresses, or take a cool shower. Now when I say cool, not cold, it's very intentional. You don't want to shock your body. If you shock your system with really cold water, it's not good. You need to go into a shower. It's not a great time. So heat stroke is the really serious one, the one that like requires medical attention. If you or someone you know is having heat stroke, you need to go to a hospital because it's like beyond exhaustion, it's beyond being tired or overheated. So with heat stroke, you will have a pounding, throbbing headache. You stop sweating. So if somebody should be sweating and they're not sweating, that's bad. Like if they have been running around all day and you pull them out of their suit, and they're like, oh, I have a headache, and like they're perfectly dry, that's not okay. Like they're probably heat stroke. It's not good. Their body temperature is going to get very, very high. Their skin's going to be very red and hot and dry again. If you're kind of flushed because you're toasty, that's normal. But if you're like red, that's not good. Again, the nausea and like vomiting. So if somebody's like throwing up because they're overheated, they should go to the doctor, regardless of heat stroke or heat stroke or heat exhaustion. And the really, really, really bad one with heat stroke is you're pretty likely to lose consciousness. So if you're in costume and you're out doing your thing and you pass out, you're gonna fall on the floor and everyone's gonna be like, oh, they're taking a nap, how cute, let me get a picture. Oh, click. So yeah, don't do that. Also on that note, if you see a suitor lying on the ground, lying in a chair, lying on a couch, don't think you're going to be annoying if you walk over and you kind of like give them a tap and say, hey, are you okay? Like, are you feeling all right? And if they don't answer, try again. If they don't say try one more time. My first aid class was like try 3 times, and if you don't get a response, then do something. If they don't answer, find house security, find someone. If you yourself are like a medical person, like do something. Obviously, you do not want to like think, oh, they're just taking a nap. In reality, they're unconscious and like in danger. So yeah, keep yourself hydrated, keep yourself cool and safe, and like put character into what you do. It makes everybody's time a whole lot better. And I believe we're just about out of time. We have a couple minutes if anybody has like remarks or questions real quick.
Even though I portray my character as more angry, I always wanted him to be more flirty and kind of just a douchebag instead of just being angry. But I haven't known how to portray that.
Oof, that's really rough. Like getting like more subtle stuff is a little hard.
I can help you answer that because I've been struggling to do that myself. A big part of it is, so your first introduction to somebody else is a big part of how they're going to judge you as a character. So when you're first walking up to somebody, you should probably make like some really rude, sarcastic remark about what they're wearing. That's what I usually go for. Just run up to them and be like, are you seriously wearing clothes like that? Oh my God, where did you buy this? And just go all out with it.
First impressions are definitely very important. Like, yeah, as you said, like if you want to come across as a not nice human being, or not old critter, or whatever you are, if you want your character to be like insensitive or kind of like cold or mean, like put that across, but again, please read your audience. You don't want to say something
Do it
to somebody and upset them. If they look like they are interested and they are willing to engage with you, then you can like take that step, like before going off on like oh, you look like hot garbage, like walk up to them like
don't burn people.
you can like walk up to them like kind of angry and just kind of like look them up and down, and if they continue to be interested in what you're doing, then push forward. Like I had a really fun interaction with Ray's, who belongs to Twilight Zane. I'm pretty sure they were in Zeta. And I went up, because that's like a pretty grumpy character, and I kind of like grumpy walked over, and it was like really fun. Then afterwards we were like, and like gave him a hug, and I was like, cool stuff. You know, nobody's feelings get hurt. Like make sure that the person knows that you are portraying a character and that you are not genuinely being mean because it's not your time.
Yeah, you gotta like make sure it's sarcastic, like in a funny way.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
you gotta
make sure
make
they
it.
realize that you're being sarcastic.
Yeah, don't just be mean. That's not fun
He means
for
not.
anybody.
He means not nice.
It's not good. It's not good. Don't be a bully.
Alrighty, so I've got to pop off to Anthrocon tonight rehearsal. Thank you all for coming. You were a fantastic audience. I hope to see you all around the con. Peace out.
My hand puppet.
Silver Gatoman, he bought me a coffee. Silver Gatoman, here is the song for thee. He likes to video all the panels at the cons. You should go and watch them whether they are short or long. Silver Gatoman, you video that's not a jibe. All of you go to his YouTube channel and like and subscribe.